Well, yeah, the globalists aren't giving us a choice, and I could see the multi-level chess game here. It's like 5 or 6 chessboards stacked on top of each other, going on at one time, or a giant chessboard with 30 times the pieces. It's not 2-dimensional; it's 3-dimensional, but it's clear. And they've done this in other nations, and I've read a lot of white papers on it. They plan to chew up the military and the police in a war against the American people, and then bring in I-4 after, when everybody's just begging for the power to be on. And I know a lot of people can't believe this is coming and going to happen. They are intending to do this. And most of the police listening right now, you're going to be wounded or killed. And I'm sorry the globalists did this, and they're not going to let you take everybody's kids to the FEMA camps. Everybody's not going to turn their guns into you. If 1% of 150 million gun owners fight you, that's 1 million people. And But I understand you're on a power trip, and you're going to have to see before you learn. But at least halfway into this carnage, maybe then they'll start waking up, Bob.
Well, this week I had 2 stories of them shooting little tiny dogs, and I just couldn't believe it. I have them both in tomorrow's issue of the International Forecaster via link. But it just, the dogs growled at them, and so they shot them. I mean, I can understand if a dog jumps on you and starts to bite you, that you have to shoot him. But these are little dogs, and I don't know what goes through their minds. Maybe they just want to try their weapons out for the day.
Well, Bob, I was about to say, we should dig out the old tapes of the shows. I don't have the personnel to even do that. They're so busy on the limited things we're doing, but hopefully with this money bomb, that'll change. I did a bunch of local access TV reports 10, 12 years ago where they would go to the house for marijuana. The cops freaked out, shot a lab that was chained up in the house in a cage as it was barking, shot a poodle, small poodle, and also shot bullets into babies' cribs, and then threw fits and beat up the family. So, and then there were a bunch of cases. But no, they're taught that everything is about by the book, their God, anything that gets in their way is dead. And God forbid your dog bark, it's going to die. So there's thousands of cases, Bob, all over the country where they kill toy chihuahuas. They kill 2-pound dogs. And they open fire, and they obliterate them, and they sometimes shoot the people inside the house. And it's all part of mental illness. And I don't care what excuses the cops make for this. You didn't act like this before. We're the most incarcerated country in the world. We're a joke, and your bosses ship the stinking drugs in to begin with, you fools. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, that's all true. And it just happened to hit me that these 2 incidents happened while we are looking at all these other things going on, the federalization of police and the escalation of stupid acts, the escalation of the buttoning down of the American people. The next thing that they're going to do, I believe, is try to seal the borders. Now, that's really unusual because they've had them virtually wide open for so long. And the reason they're going to do that is I think they're going to, down the line here, when things get real nasty, I think they're going to put on currency controls. I think there's a good chance of that. And I've lived in currency control countries, and it's like being in a financial prison, because if you wanted to take money out, you couldn't. And they want to control everybody's money because they believe that it all belongs to them.
Well, let me expand on that. It is their fiat false money. We are the idiots that got conned by them, so in a sick way it's true. But kind of like when a killer has a woman strapped down, he's about to rape and kill, it's his ball game. So in a way, she does belong to him because she got in the car with him or got kidnapped. It's very sick, but possession's 9/10 of the law. We are their slaves until we stand up on our hind legs and say no. But, you're bringing up what you just said is in a lot of their own documents and statements about what they're planning, that what they're going to do is lock the borders down with this new hemispheric travel card. And then they've already said they're just going to give all the illegal aliens in Mexico the new North American Union ID card. That American hemispheric card everybody hears on the news and everybody's getting, that's in Canada and Mexico, too. Their governments just issue them. It's going to be accepted by our government. And so the illegals are going to be allowed to go in and out. It's going to be slave Americans who aren't. They're going to keep the illegals off the no-fly list and the no-border list. I mean, this is all so selectively done, Bob.
Yeah, and they want that, essentially slave labor, which is so important for them to make the profits that continue to allow them to suppress the people.
Not just profits, though, as you know, undermining real middle-class wages that allow you to provide for your family.
Well, they suck it down from the bottom in this case, and they pull wages down at the lower end of the scale. That's why these people who are making automobiles and support industries in that area went from $30 down to $10 to $15 if they're lucky per hour, if they can get a job. And the same thing, incidentally, has happened in Mexico. The labor unions there have been forced to drop Mexican wages to the level, in many instances, of Chinese wages in order to keep the business so that they can keep people working.
The race to the bottom, the sucking sound.
That's right. And, we were talking about mercantilization. And we tried it in 1790 to 1800, and it was a disaster. And that's why we put tariffs in. And that's why we became such a successful nation, or at least in part. That's part of the reason. We realized that we couldn't compete with slave labor, and we've got to do that again, and we need that legislation as soon as we get rid of the Fed.
Bob Chapman's our guest. 2 more segments with him. Your call straight ahead on the other side on the economy. Bob Chapman, theinternationalforecaster.com is the website. Get a free trial copy there. And later, before Bob leaves us, he'll give you a toll-free number to get a free complimentary copy as well. Infowars.com. I want to take a few phone calls in this segment, the next, for Bob Chapman. All right, let's go ahead and go to some phone calls here for Bob Chapman. Let's talk to Dwayne in Pennsylvania. You're on the air with Bob Chapman.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Bob. I have a question for something that Bob mentioned a few months back. That is the percentage of goods that Americans produce for their own consumption. I think you mentioned it was around 12%. Do you think the figure's below that now with all the auto factories shutting down?
And those figures vary from different sources. Some of them have it at 9.5%, and some of them have it at 10%. So we'll say it's somewhere between 9 and 12%.
That's unbelievable. It's what's going to happen when we lose our machine tool industry?
Well, I think we're on the verge of doing that now. And once we lose the machine tool industry, we can no longer manufacture in the future if we want to without bringing machine tool experts in from other countries to teach new people to operate those kind of machines.
But we're in the post-industrial eugenics world, so under the carbon footprint, we won't be having those. To make sure we go bankrupt, they're bringing that in now while other countries don't have to. Oh, how friendly. Thank you, Dwayne. Mike in Nevada, you're on the air with Bob Chapman. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I have 3 quick questions. They're kind of a little bit off topic of the...
Well, you're on a really bad speakerphone, so go ahead and ask them.
Okay, all right. 3 quick questions. Is Microsoft part of the New World Order?
Yes.
And,
yes.
Okay, so is supporting open source like Linux, BSD, is that a small way of fighting the New World Order?
Yes.
Okay, definitely. All right, now, is it better... It certainly is better for us to focus on both, but is it better to take back the federal government or focus on taking our state governments back?
Both, but you get more results locally. That's the real gap the enemy hasn't gotten yet, Bob Chapman.
I agree. And this sovereign movement especially. And so the area that you can work with the most easily is the local level, the state level.
Absolutely, sir. God bless you, Mike. Law. I think I know Law. That's a big, huge 9/11 truther. Or maybe somebody else named Law is calling from Colorado. But, when they attacked me with my bullhorn, we just put Luke up on his shoulders with the bullhorn and they couldn't reach it.